So how exactly should you follow up after a job interview? I have a few tips and process to share that can be helpful. Hi, I'm Dalena Bradley, job interview coach and career marketing specialist. And the first order of business, of course, is to write that interview thank you note within 24 hours after you met with the hiring team to everybody that you met with. And that is something different than your follow-up strategy, but that is your immediate first order of business. So that's all taken care of. And by the way, I've linked to a resource about writing your thank you note in the comments below. But really, the follow-up strategy, you put that into play if you haven't heard back after the interview. Ideally, while you're still in the interview, you have the opportunity, or you remember to ask, kind of when you sense things are wrapping up, when is their time frame for making the decision? And that will help give you a real sense of how urgently they want to fill the role. Maybe they're a little bit more general and they're taking their time. Maybe they're a little more urgent and they have an aggressive time frame. So that's really helpful, and it's even more helpful if they give you a specific date. The other thing that you want to ask them is what's their preferred way to communicate? Email, phone, text. You have those two data points then, their general time frame for making a decision, their preferred mode of communication, and then you can use that as your foundation for following up. Let's say they say in 2 weeks, we hope to have wrapped up all interviews and we'll have our hiring decision. Then set an alert in your calendar, 2 weeks plus or minus 1 day for your first follow-up communication. And I have linked to a template that you can use to form your email to them. And what it should really say is along the lines of, I'm checking in, I'm still very interested in the role, wondering whether you have made your hiring decision. And then maybe you put a note in there about something that you've noticed happening with the company that shows you're keeping an eye on them and that you're still interested, something you've seen in the news or something else that you had researched or that you find interesting. So that could round out your first email. So how many emails should you send and how often should you send them? After that first email, wait 1 week, follow up a second time, wait 1 week, follow up a third time. And if you're still not hearing back, then it's time to move on. It is really bad form if a company is not getting back to you, given the investment of time that you've made to research and prepare and interview, and they've made the investment of time as well. For whatever reason, this happens and it is frustrating, but at least with this strategy, you know that you've done all you can on your end to continue to show your interest, to be professional, and to follow up. And, always remain positive, because if the company, for whatever reason, they had some major thing happen internally that really prevented them from making a decision, or, there was some problem, and then they're getting back, to you much later than you thought, at least you'll still be in good standing, assuming you haven't already gotten another job. Maybe you still have a shot. So I hope these tips helped. For more information on working with me, go to dalenabradley.com. In the meantime, I wish you the very best in your next interview and in your career.